It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Let's go. It's the Pregame Show, Joe Spadoni. You got me for the next hour. I'm fired up. We got a lot to break down. A lot happened yesterday in the world of sports. Good, bad, ugly. Sacramento officially on notice right now. Not the place you want to be at for sports currently. I'm going to get into that. As the Kings blow a 20-point lead yesterday in the Garden? That's too bad. That's a shame. And I'm not going at the Sacramento fan base. I'm not going at Sacramento fans. I'm not going at any of the lovely people that live up there. All the anger and hatred is directed toward two individuals. Well, three if you want to add Dave Cavill. Vivek Ranadive, owner of the Sacramento Kings, and John Fisher. I'm now hoping the Warriors get the Kings in the play-in. That's what I need in my life. I need the Bay to take revenge on just the Athletics, I guess now, because they don't even have a name. Did you guys hear that? So, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock, and that's fine. If you're Patrick Starr, I'm not mad at that. Good morning to all of you, by the way. It's slick out there. Be safe on the roadways. 888-957-9570. Big win for the Warriors last night. We'll get into it. 133-110. They smoke the Houston Rockets, all but wrap up. It's basically official at this point. I mean, unless there's a major collapse from the Warriors and a major spurt from the Rockets, the 10th spot is all but wrapped up at the very least. Hoping you can climb to 9 or maybe even the 8th spot. So we'll get into that game. Tari Eason. He's catching some flack.
The Rockets coming out to play.
Oh, yeah. The entire team just needed that little bit extra motivation. Officially the hottest team in the league right now, the Golden State Warriors. 6 in a row. Their longest streak of the season, winning that is. But if you've been living under a rock, the A's announced that this will be their last season in Oakland and that they will be playing 3 with the potential of 4 years up in Sacramento at the AAA stadium of the Rivercats. Now, the A's used to be affiliated with the Rivercats way back when, before the Giants ended up swooping in on that. A's, obviously, their AAA affiliate now in Las Vegas, where they're trying to move. We'll see if that happens. But for the time being, after this season, it'll be up in Sacramento, a city that knows a lot about, almost losing a franchise. It nearly got snatched away from them until Vivek Ranadive, now the owner, took control, built a new stadium, light the beam. It's a good time out in Sacramento. It's fun. They got a young, fun team. I know they're struggling right now, but it's good. It's good for the community. The community embraces that team. They are diehards. It's just a bad look if you were the savior of that sports city and now you're kind of the bad guy. Whether you like it or not, it's a horrible look bringing the A's in and being the scapegoat for a crook, for a scumbag, for a horrible individual in John Fisher, as I saw him try to talk about the Oakland A's yesterday. It was pretty embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. I think Sammy actually got that sound, and I'm just going to play it. I got it, Sam. Don't worry. But this guy, and we'll get to the Warriors, I promise. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this dumpster fire of an organization. I really don't. But we need to talk about it. It's a huge story in sports. And John Fisher, speaking to the media yesterday, On very short notice for that Bay Area media to come up there, they announced that presser very quickly. And yes, it was out in Sacramento. I wonder why they did that. But my guy...
Very weird.
Yeah, very. I'm glad my guy Casey Pratt was able to hop into his DeLorean and go a little bit into the future there. Because he made it. Love Casey Pratt and all he's doing. ABC 7 News. He's been on this thing from the beginning, and he's done a tremendous job. So I just want to thank him for all of that right now, because I know he's listening at 5:05 a.m. because he has that Odyssey app. He downloaded that and favorited 95.7 The Game. He also has the YouTube app. Download that, and then make sure you're subscribed to 95.7 The Game on YouTube. We're also streaming on Twitch. Search 95.7 The Game, like, subscribe, all that, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. It's a Phil Collins Friday here on the pregame show. Not a payday Friday, but nevertheless, we just go through it. All right? Every week can't be payday. John Fisher, on the momentous day of announcing you're playing in a AAA stadium for 3 years.
I just want to say how excited I am to be here in West Sacramento in Sutter Health Park, celebrating a momentous day for this community and a momentous day for our 123-year-old franchise. I want to extend my thanks to Vivek, not only a good friend, but a great business person, great associate, and for helping make this day possible. To you and your team at the Kings, and at the River Cats, working with you guys has been a dream for our guys as well. I want to thank Mayor Guerrero and the whole West Sacramento community for being so welcoming to us. I just want to say we're excited to be here for the next 3 years, playing in this beautiful ballpark, but also being able to watch some of the greatest players in baseball, whether they be athletics players or Aaron Judge and others, launch home runs out of this very intimate, the most intimate ballpark in all of Major League Baseball for the next 3 years. And we're looking forward to this being our home until we move on to our stadium in Las Vegas in 2028. So thank you, everybody, for all your hospitality, for being so welcoming.
The guy couldn't even name an athletic player. He had to go, I hope you guys are excited to see Aaron Judge. I hope you're excited about Aaron Judge, an opposing player, John. Good Lord. Just so out of touch, and it's so on brand. I didn't expect anything from him. I really didn't. There's a reason this guy doesn't speak to the media. There's a reason this guy doesn't do interviews very often, because he sucks at public speaking, just like his boy, Robbie Manfred. Just an embarrassment. Couldn't even name a current player. He had to go Aaron Judge. Guy probably doesn't even watch baseball. I'm shocked he didn't say Derek Jeter. Good Lord. Ugh. The Sacramento A's. No, they're not even the Sacramento A's. They're not even the Las Vegas A's. They're not going to be the Oakland A's. You know what they're going to be? And they announced this. They're just going to be called the Athletics. No. Not the great journalism website where we get a lot of our content here. Shout out Anthony Slater, Marcus Thompson II, amongst others. Vic Tafer. Sean Reed. I'm just going through athletic people now. Because honestly, and you know what's sad? I could name more people, and most of you probably could name more people
like
from...
mashed potatoes
Thank
guy.
you. You could probably name... Anthony Slater comes to mind before Zach Geloff or Shea Langoliers. So they're going to be the Athletics. I preferred the Sacramento A's of Las Vegas or the Las Vegas A's of Sacramento. That's good. The Northern California Athletics. I think Sammy said the Golden State Athletics. Well, they have gold, so that would have worked. I think Joe Lacob would have been very happy about that.
The Green Golden State Athletics?
I like the greed in Golden State. You like that? Greed is good. In this case, it's not.
Out.
Yeah, I'd actually prefer Gordon Gekko as the owner in this case
Oh, you know he'd be going out of his way to try and win every single game like that.
Well, because he wants profit. He understands he wants to make money.
Wins lead to money. He does know that.
And he also was a self-made man, Gordon Gekko, not like John Fisher, who inherited...
Fisher the fraud.
He inherited everything from mommy and daddy. It is what it is. It must be nice. Good morning to all of you on YouTube. Zach, I live in West Sac from San Francisco. Go Giants. And yeah, Giants opening day today against the San Diego Padres. A little bit bittersweet. Obviously, it's a great time. It's the heart and soul of a city. Again, I said it yesterday, is their baseball team. Football's awesome. It's king. It gets all the views. It's sexy. It's flashy. Revenue is sky high. We love football. And maybe for most of you, it has overtaken baseball as America's pastime. But when a baseball team is good and there are names that you could attach yourself to, it does wonder for a city and for a community. It really does. And I saw it with the A's for years. If they had just kept the players and paid them, I don't think we would have been in this situation. But that's not what John Fisher wanted to do. That's not what Lou Wolf wanted to do. That's not what Dave Cavil, who just does whatever those guys want to do. It was sabotage from the beginning. And you're a fool if and when they move to Las Vegas that they're actually going to spend on this team. Chances are Fisher will probably sell. I would be shocked if he didn't. Again, when and if the stadium gets built. But Giants opening day today against the San Diego Padres out at Oracle Park. Hope you all have a great time. 1:35 first pitch. You got Jordan Hicks v. Dylan Cease. Selfishly, I got Dylan Cease in fantasy, so I'm looking for a high number of strikeouts. No decisions, fine. Just strikeouts. Well, he has a high whip. I'll say that. For Dylan Cease, if you could be patient, don't go after the Sans face. Name of the game, patience, right?
A lot to ask for with this lineup.
Patience. Take pitches. Something that the A's used to be known for. Bob Melvin, former A's manager. Be patient. Get on base. Good things will happen against Dylan Cease. Easier said than done when that thing's hammering at you at 95 miles an hour and then dips right into your feet. Very difficult, I am sure. Speaking of not difficult, as we pivot back to the Warriors, and if you still have your thoughts on John Fisher, the A's, the Sacramento, please, 888-957-9570. I can take your calls for this entire hour. We talked about it yesterday on the Morning Roast, Steiny Goo, Willard Dibbs, all of that. So if you want to keep talking that, 888-957-9570. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line. But from a dumpster fire to a team that is on fire in the standings, that being the Golden State Warriors, you know what? Let me start off by just playing this, because this was a little over a week ago. And life comes at you fast. Tari Eason.
Warriors, come out to play! Warriors, come out to play! Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I'm just
looking. At the end, that just makes it so much sadder.
He hasn't played since January, as Draymond Green alluded to on his podcast just a week ago. For the season, he's averaging 9 points, 7 boards, and 1 assist, and 1 steal. Good for him. It's all over the place. So first we have that. Draymond Green's rebuttal. That came 2 days ago, but we had the audio yesterday.
The Rockets coming out to play.
It's really bad. Good Lord, that's a horrible impression, but it makes it even funnier. So Tari Eason doubles down yesterday, wearing a shirt saying Warriors come out to play while he's on the bench, not suited up. Rockets get popped in that first quarter, and the game was basically over after that. I mean, it should have been like a 20-point lead for the Warriors. Had they not given the ball away 9 times? 9 times. And here's Klay Thompson after the game addressing Tari Eason.
Yeah, that's pretty lame, especially if you're not even playing. Like, it's one thing if you're playing and you're out there competing and you can back it up, but if you're just going to be trolling from the sideline, like, bro, like, what are we doing? Like, times we talk mess, at least we're out there competing. I'm not going to, that's all I have to say about that.
That's all he has to say about that. Pretty lame. I wonder how Ime Udoka felt about last night's performance. Head coach of the Houston Rockets. We know a lot Ime Udoka. Damn near tried to fight LeBron James earlier this season on the court. They were going back and forth. Ime Udoka off the court. We know what happened there. No longer the Celtics coach. A little fooling around. But now, having a pretty good year for a young Houston Rockets team. Then again, stop me if you've heard this before. Another young, athletic team in the West that's making strides. But here he is, talking to his team, talking to the media after the game.
It looked like the moment was too big for a lot of players out there. Saw it look like deer in headlights a little bit. Either look soft or scared. One or the other. And that's two bad things for a lot of our guys to have, and didn't rise up to the moment like I thought we would.
Deer in headlights. That's what the Rockets were yesterday, and that's what they became once the big boy schedule started to happen. It's cute. You have a nice little winning streak. It's nice. You hit double digits. Yeah, these are playoff teams / play-in teams they're playing, and I kind of have to chuckle. Like, it pains me to say every time, like, these are play-in teams you're playing against. It's just... It's crazy how much these guys are caring, and Dre, and even Steph was getting involved. He had the 3 bottles on his fingers, a la the actual Warriors movie, where the guy had the 3 glass bottles, but Steph's were plastic. Can't have the glass bottles on there. Big mess. But he was doing the little Warriors, clanking them together. Even Steph was getting involved there. And it's fun, and I love it. But at the same time, God, you're playing for the 10th spot, and it's just like, ugh. We're having to go at guys named Tari Eason. That's what it's come down to for the Warriors. Tari Eason is now enemy number 1. Ugh. There's part of me that loves it, the pettiness, all of that. But there's also, like, what are we doing? Like, we used to be battling for the number 1 seed, and now we're battling for the damn play-in, which you basically locked up again, beating the Rockets. Unless a miracle happens one way or the other, the Warriors will at the very least be the 10th seed. So you will be in the play-in. You have avoided absolute disaster of a season. That would have been a disaster of a season had they not made the play-in. So you're in the play-in. What's next? Well, take care of business tonight in the back end of a Texas two-step in Dallas against the Mavericks, who, by the way, won last night, 109-95 against the not hot Atlanta Hawks. Although the Hawks might be in play-in scenario, I want to say, as I go to the Eastern Conference right now. They're the 10th spot, in the same place as the Warriors. And it looks like they've all but wrapped up that. So, you know what? Here you go. Huge implications tonight for both of these teams. Mavericks trying to stave off the Suns, the Pelicans. They want to stick at that 5 spot. Right now, they would be in a first-round matchup against the Los Angeles Clippers. Should be tough, but as we know, Mavericks, Luka, he's had some good success against Los Angeles in the past. And with Kyrie on top of that, I like their chances. I don't know what to make about the Clippers. You know how I feel about them. We'll see. They usually get hurt. Something happens. They get upset. Let's see if they can make a conference finals before we start crowning them. They made 1 during the Kyrie era. Who's my guy out there that spurred that run too? Reggie, I can't even think of his name. Reggie Jackson. There we go. Now with the Nuggets. Good morning to all of you on the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. So you got the Mavericks and huge implications tonight, because if you lose this game and the Lakers win, you're probably locked into the 10th spot. Now, the Lakers, they're taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow at 12:30. So that's a little interesting. 12:30 on a Saturday, huh? At home in Los Angeles. It's just, you don't really see that very often. So take care of business tonight. Put more pressure on the Lakers tomorrow, because they have a back-to-back on Sunday against Minnesota. Obviously not easy there. Before kind of the last big matchup of the regular season for the Warriors in Los Angeles on Tuesday. And now I'm sure that'll be prime time. That'll be TNT, ESPN, whatever it is. Cannot wait for that one. LeBron, Steph, does not get any better than that. Hell, these two teams have already had the best game of the season thus far. It was double overtime. And I'm still kicking myself for not being at that game. Sam was at that game. He's going to be able to go back and say, you know what? I might have witnessed the greatest regular season game of all time. Like, two of the great performances and big shots from LeBron, Steph. God, you just name it. There was just star power galore there. And it kind of got swallowed up because it was the day before the Super Bowl. No, was it? No, because you would have been there. No, it wasn't the day before. Day before NFC Championship game? That's what it was. NFC Championship game, not the Super Bowl. Get my days mixed up here. It's all good. But Sam was at that game. That's how I know, because Sam was in Vegas. There we go. It's all good. Speaking of the big win, huge part of last night's game, and no Jonathan Kuminga again, by the way. Interesting. Steve Kerr was on our airwaves yesterday with Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. You can find that entire interview on YouTube or the Odyssey app. Search, like, subscribe, all of that. But he said his status was up in the air yesterday, which, okay. Big conversation on our airwaves surrounding Kuminga. Should he start when he comes back? Should he not? He's earned the right. Andrew Wiggins is playing well, what have you. Well, Andrew Wiggins, not his greatest performance yesterday. Stop me if you've heard that before. But also, he tweaked his ankle in the fourth quarter. So very interested to see what goes on tonight when they take on the Dallas Mavericks. Is Jonathan Kuminga going to come back? Is Andrew Wiggins not going to play? Is he going to be on the bench? What's going to go on there is very interesting. But the main takeaway from last night's game and from this recent stretch is the TJD, the Trace Jackson Davis, rookie out of Indiana, and Draymond Green combo on the court. It's changed everything, says Steve Kerr.
We shot it well. We didn't execute well. Too many turnovers, but key to the game was our defense. So Trace and Draymond together have changed our team. I mean, it's pretty dramatic. Just the rim protection, the rebounding that Trace gives us, what that allows Draymond to do. It's been really fun to watch them together. Trace is, for a rookie, it's amazing what he's doing.
Again, Mike Dunleavy, hell of a job with Pajemski and Trace Jackson Davis. And also, he gets credit for Chris Paul. Because I don't know if those two players would be having the success they are having without CP3. I mean, we love Steph, Clay, and Dre, but I'm going to be honest, when it came to helping develop young talent, that was not their forte. When it comes to bringing these guys, these rooks up, and getting them familiar with an offense, those three, the core three, did not have the greatest track record. Chris Paul, man, he's been on a bajillion teams now. He's a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA. He knows a thing or two about helping young players and young talent in this league. Just ask the Oklahoma City Thunder and how invaluable he was to their success that you're seeing now. So I'm giving a tremendous amount of respect to Mike Dunleavy, Chris Paul, and the rookies themselves, Pajemski and Trace Jackson Davis, for stepping up. And Trace last night, 8 of 10, efficient, got 4 assists. He's even dishing it out. 20 points for him. And again, that Trace Jackson Davis, Draymond Green combo, it feels like it has changed everything. The Trace's defense, now he is a rookie. If you're relying on a rookie in playoffs, play-ins, you're going to be seeing some bigs, particularly next Tuesday. I'm very fascinated to see this matchup. Not looking past the Mavericks. All right? I'm not looking past anyone. Got the Jazz on Sunday at home at Chase Center. I am looking past the Jazz. I'm not going to lie. But Anthony Davis, when healthy, has been a massive problem for the Golden State Warriors. I'm not revealing any secrets there. He had to leave early last game with a corneal abrasion, scratched eye, and he was fine. He played the next game. But he had to leave the game there. By the way, he got elbowed in the eye the other day. The guy gets smacked in the face constantly. But TJD, that will be a massive, massive test for him on Tuesday. That's the one guy that just consistently, that's the one guy that consistently dominates the Warriors. LeBron James on the stat sheet, he's always just played well against the Dubs. He plays well against everyone, to be honest with you. He just does. But I'm looking at that matchup on Tuesday, and circling that one is going to be how things go for either one of those teams, which again, they're battling, both of them trying to get to that 7th and 8th spot, but really, at the very least, they want home court advantage for a 9-10 scenario, which is huge because prior to the last win in Los Angeles for the Warriors, and again, no Anthony Davis for most of that game, but I do believe it was a mental hurdle to clear for Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, all those guys, Steve Kerr, just knowing you could win in that building because it had been forever since they had done that against the Lakers. That's massive. Can they do it again? Things happen. You never want to be on the road. The lights get bright. There's celebrities. Do your rookies, Trace Jackson Davis, Pregame, you don't know how they're going to be in a do or die scenario. How is Wiggins going to respond? Kuminga, going to be the biggest game in his career thus far. And I want to get into Kuminga on the other side because I was hearing some callers and listeners and people already talking about trading this guy. We need to pump the brakes on that. 888-957-9570. It's a Phil Collins Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. And it's a pregame show Friday with Joe Spadoni on 95.7 The Game.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a serious heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, or HCM. Some symptoms include being...
Tim? Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, Phil Collins Friday. Sing it, Phil. Name of this song, this track, Tonight. Warriors, Mavericks, tonight, 5:30 tip, right here, 95.7 The Game. Our coverage, starting at 4:30, Warriors Live. We'll have Warriors wrap up after the game. Your calls, your texts, massive implications for both of these teams as they are both fighting for playoff seeding. The Western Conference is going down to the wire. We know the 10 teams now that will be in the play-in/playoffs. How will it all shake out? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm kidding. I have to go Dragon Ball Z all the time. Come on. Over 9,000. By the way, did you guys see what Tiger Woods has given up before the Masters? That's a tease. I'll tease that. Next segment, we'll get into it. But Tiger Woods, a man known for stuff off the course. Obviously, we know what happened, 15 plus years ago. Seems like he's a changed man. I'll explain that. Masters less than a week away. Come on, give it to me. Let's go. It's just, it's beautiful. I don't think Mozart, Beethoven, Johann Sebastian Bach, Tupac, Iggy Azalea, I don't think any of them can come up with a beat like that. Let's go. Hello, friends. So that's less than a week. But for now, we're talking basketball. Baseball, it is opening day. Giants, Padres, opening day for the home team, I should say, in San Francisco. Jordan Hicks v. Dylan Cease. Fun matchup. Flamethrowers. Dylan Cease. Elite mustache. So there you go. Do you need any more? Well, what's the weather going to be like? It's been pretty ugly the last 24 hours or so. As I pull up my weather, and we're pretty close to the ballpark over here, so I think it's pretty accurate. It's going to be windy and chilly. Low 50s, mid 50s. What else is new? San Francisco, bring a jacket, bring a beanie. You'll be fine. Get some garlic fries, a crab sandwich, whatever you want. I can go for that right now. 5:36 a.m. Crab sandwich. Sounds delicious. Not a big seafood guy in the morning, but when you work at these hours, you know what? Mornings, nights, days, your appetite, it's all over the place. From the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. 925, this is good. Just moved out here a few years ago from Los Angeles, so I'm a Laker fan, obviously. I'm telling you, it was nice watching a Dylan Brooks team get beat down like that. The Warriors told those kids to go back to the kiddie table. This is what Draymond Green actually said to him.
The Rockets coming out to play. The Rockets coming out to play.
That's what he said. That team got beat down and humbled so badly. This is what their head coach had to say after the game.
It looked like the moment was too big for a lot of players out there. Saw it look like deer in headlights a little bit. Either look soft or scared.
That's tough.
One or the other, and that's two bad things for a lot of our guys to have, and didn't rise up to the moment like I thought we would.
Didn't rise up to the moment. Deer in headlights. You hate to see it for a Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason-led squad. I mean, when your vocal guy for the team is on the bench in street clothes, it's a tough look. Klay Thompson didn't like it.
Yeah, that's pretty lame, especially if you're not even playing. Like, it's one thing if you're playing and you're out there competing and you can back it up, but if you're just going to be trolling from the sideline, like, bro, what are we doing? Like, times we talk mess, at least we're out there competing. I'm not going to, that's all I have to say about that.
Klay did not like that. That's all he's got to say about that. He went Forrest Gump on him. That's all I got to say about that. Jenai. So now you get Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. There's levels to this. In Houston, again, young team. I do find it interesting Did anyone have any problems with Ime Udoka and the way he went out his team right there? I saw our big boss man, Matt Nahagian. Nahagian. Potato. But he was on X last night. When is he not? Love you, Matt. You can follow him at Matt Nahagian. But you can also follow me at Spadoni_Joe on X. But he questioned whether that was a good way to motivate a team. Not sure I'd be too happy if I were a Houston Rocket player. I think that's the point, though. You shouldn't be happy. Like, just getting to this point is not good enough for a coach in a franchise that, let's be honest, has been highly successful. I know they haven't gotten to a finals in quite some time, since the 90s, and one of them since the 90s. They nearly, what does that mean? Well, I always applaud Daryl Morey and the Houston Rockets. I know he hated them. Eric Gordon, James Harden, PJ Tucker, all those guys. Couldn't stand them. But Clint Capella, they went out the Warriors head on and nearly defeated one of the greatest teams in the history of the sport. Didn't happen, though. And they fell apart. They had to tear everything down. Lottery team. And now they're back. They're young. They're on the rise again. You get some veterans, a championship player like a Fred VanVleet. You get Dylan Brooks in here. I know we all make fun of him. Still a highly productive defensive player in this league. And Ime Udoka, who has, again, been in the finals, has finals experience as a head coach, and is having a hell of a year with the Houston Rockets. They're 38-38. They've lost 3 in a row. They're done this season. But I don't think anyone expected them to be a 500 team. I didn't. When they were shelling out those contracts, yikes. So whatever Ime Udoka is doing, it's working. He has a good pulse on this Rocket squad, and I am 100% okay with him basically eviscerating them last night after the game. The moment was too big for them early on. It was not too big for Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. Again, this is so far down on the Warriors totem pole as far as beefs, as far as urgency goes. I mean, this is a team that has the greatest regular season record in the history of the sport, has the first unanimous MVP in the history of the sport, has hardware after hardware after hardware. You want to talk DPOY, talk MVP, finals MVPs, everywhere, you name it, this team has it. And yeah, they look at this Rockets team that's trying to talk trash to get into a 10 seed in the play-in tournament. Please. We don't have time for that. No, wait, actually we do. We'll kick your ass, and then we'll talk about it, and then we move on. And I'd be very shocked if we heard Steph, Clay, Dre, Kerr, any Warrior utter Houston again going forward. Their eyes have shifted. They're on to Dallas. They're on Los Angeles. They got bigger and hopefully better things to worry about. Just like we do on the other side, because we're up against it. One more break, 888-957-9570. You ended the Rocket season. You're officially a top 10 team in the NBA Western Conference. What does that mean? Well, not a whole hell of a lot if you lose in the first round in the opening play-in game. So can they get home court advantage? And also, on the other side, more of your calls, more of your text, and wait till you hear what Tiger Woods has given up ahead of the Masters. Not going to miss it on 95.7 The Game.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school.
Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. One more segment before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. Get their thoughts on the Warriors' win over the Houston Rockets, 133-110. Warriors now 42-34 on the year, 23-15 on the road. They could win on the road. And you know what? I really don't give a damn about the home record. I don't. I know a lot of people are making a big deal about it. As long as you could win on the road, I'm letting the home take care of itself. The home record means nothing to me. What are you doing away from Chase Center? And they're 23-15. So if they have to go to Los Angeles, they have to go to Sacramento, or as I call it, Wacramento right now. No offense to all the residents there. It's all directed at Vivek Ranadive. Cannot wait. Joe Shasky can't wait for opening day. He's all decked out. Sam Loveman. Whole crew is going to be out there opening day. Giants, Padres, Cease, Hicks. Hope everyone has a great time. Again, dress warm. It's going to be very chilly. It's like 40 degrees right now in the city. It's very cold. I have to scooter in. Brave the elements. I mean, it's basically like the Iditarod out there on the scooter. And my scooter is a Husky. It's a bit of a stretch. That's all right. Speaking of stretch that the Warriors are on, they've won 6 in a row. They've now surpassed their highest win totals and winning streak, I should say, of the season. They had done a 5-game winning streak. I think it was at 3 or 4 different times this season. They haven't gotten past that. Now they have. Are the Warriors peaking at the perfect time? 888-957-9570. What say you? I think if they win tonight against the Mavericks, against both teams on the back end of a back-to-back, Mavericks at home now. Mavericks were coming off a long road trip, so if you wanted to use that as an excuse for them, that's fine. But I think if they win this game, that signals to me this team is not going to be a very tough out. They are going to be very difficult to beat. I said not going to be a tough out. Very tough out. All over the place. It's all right. It's a Friday. I'm feeling good. It's Phil Collins Friday. Non-payday Friday, but nonetheless, we got Final Four action this weekend. We got Warriors. We've got playoff/play-in scenarios galore. But if they win tonight, I think I'm officially a believer on this team going on a run. You might already be, but if they beat the Mavericks and then they handle their business against Utah, that's going to be, do my math, 8 straight wins heading into Los Angeles. Then you're cooking with grease. And then if you handle your business there and you beat LeBron James and Anthony Davis, I mean, you're probably on the fast track to at least hosting a play-in game, which would be massive. Again, you could still be a little cynical, like I kind of am too. Like all this for a play-in game, I know it's silly, but you know what? That's where they're at this season. You can either lean into it and say, I'm not paying attention to them. That's fine. But I know what this Warriors team is capable of when they are at their best. And they're playing potentially the likes of the Thunder or the Timberwolves. You want to avoid the Nuggets, but at the same time, bring on the Nuggets in the first round. You probably don't want them. The one team that I've said all year is a tier above everyone in the West, although the Nuggets just took an L last night to the Clippers. Big win for them. Michael Malone getting ejected. Don't call him Mike. Doesn't like that. But this team is gelling, and they are hot, and it's fun to watch. And Steve Kerr thinks they are playing at a very high level.
I do know that we're playing at a high level right now. We're playing good two-way basketball. Our defense has been excellent for the most part until last game. I think we've taken really good care of the ball the last couple of months. Really cutting back the turnovers, which has helped, and the guys are really connected. They're really playing together, supporting each other. It's been a really fun season coaching the group because they've all been so great. We're just desperately trying to get into the playoffs because I think we could do some damage if we get there.
What kind of damage is that going to look like? Is it just going to be giving a team like the Nuggets all they can handle, going to a 7-game series against the defending champs? Is it upsetting them? Because if you beat the Nuggets in round 1, I know, big if. Let's get there first. Let's see what the matchups are. But if you beat the Nuggets in round 1, things kind of open up a little bit there. You don't fear the Timberwolves. You don't fear the Thunder. I'm not fearing the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Suns, the Pelicans, the Kings, or the Lake. I don't fear any of those teams. One team I fear. It's that team out in Denver with that freak in Nikola Jokic. And I say freak in the most endearing way possible because he's just unbelievable. TJD has also been unbelievable as a rookie. 20 points last night. Highly efficient. Draymond Green and TJD, that combo has changed this Warriors team. Here's Steve Kerr talking about the growth and evolution of Trayce Jackson-Davis.
Well, he's gaining a lot more confidence, I think, with the extra playing time here in the second half of the season. And he was already a very sound player fundamentally. The NBA is different from the college game. You have to feel it. You have to see the pictures and feel the actions people are running, the pace, the tempo, and you got to learn all the personnel. And he's doing a really good job with all of that.
It's not, again, this is not an easy team to come into and then be a starter as a rookie. 2 rookies have now done that with this team. Brandon Pajemski and Trayce Jackson-Davis. Mike Dunleavy, I don't think we've heard his name enough on these airwaves and giving him his due. But the Chris Paul trade, coupled with the drafting of both Pajemski and Trayce Jackson-Davis, may have extended this championship window. And I don't say that lightly. Because if Trayce Jackson-Davis continues to build like this, and I don't know what Brandon Pajemski's going to be, but at the very least, he could be a role player. He's getting 24 minutes, 20 plus minutes a night, and you're going to need that youth come playoff time. And Jonathan Kuminga, that's the guy going forward. And I cannot believe, and I get it, he's been out now 5 games with knee tendonitis. We'll see if he plays tonight. I guess Andrew Wiggins tweaked his ankle in the 4th quarter yesterday. So we'll wait and see there. But the amount of people that were calling it to these airwaves yesterday, and I screen calls for both shows. Sam does it mostly, but Sam's not in there. I do it. And then I screen the calls for Steiny and Goo. The amount of people that said trade Kuminga for something else, I was just shocked. Oh, we've won 5 in a row without. We've won all this without him. Okay. Talk to me if they lose to a play-in game and you don't start Jonathan Kuminga and you don't utilize him. Talk to me then. He is the future of this team. We're talking about the future of Trayce Jackson-Davis and Brandon Pajemski. Kuminga is a far superior talent and player to both of those guys. And he needs to be the guy you build around after Steph. I don't know if he could be a number 1. Right now, he is not. I would like to see him have the chance to be a number 2, and that starts in this playoff run coming up, and you're going to need him, and I want to see him. Because I know that number 2 is not going to be Andrew Wiggins for the 4 seed. We know that. You can try to, look at his last couple weeks, look at his last month. That's great. I know what Andrew Wiggins is. He's a guy I cannot depend on. I can't depend on him every single night. If that's the case, you cannot be my number 2. That is a fact. Jonathan Kuminga has the potential to be that. And you know what? If this isn't a championship season, hell, even if it is, I need him to be starting because he's earned that right. And you can say, oh, what do you earn? What do you? It's like, no, he's earned it. 2 years in a row now, Andrew Wiggins has been inconsistent as hell, has missed a lot of time. I'm not crushing him for missing the time, but the fact of the matter is he missed a lot of time last year and was reinserted immediately. Kuminga made 2 mistakes in that Kings series. Night, see you later. You're done. You're not playing against the Lakers. You're not playing against the Kings. And then he has a great stretch this year, again, averaging 20-plus points. He's emerging as a young stud in this league. And you know what? It's like we don't care. Oh, you've been out for 5 games? Yeah, you're done. Go to the bench. I just don't get it. The fan reception to Jonathan Kuminga, does it always go back to him calling out Steve Kerr and the coaching staff last year in the playoffs? Is it just his youthfulness? I don't know what it is about him that really angers so many Warriors fans. Maybe Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky will discuss it on the other side on the Morning Roast. Have a good weekend, everybody.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
The Black Keys International Players Tour, live in the Bay Area. Shoreline Amphitheater, September 29th. They wanna get mine. With special guest, The Head and the Heart. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m.